場野火，燃亮我吧，我滿有信心，沒苦惱亦無懼怕，青春的火花，讓我心強烈跳吧，跳躍似火花，跨出每步懷自信，不空口講話。不開心永不想他快些快些踢波吧。
It's your fault, Ben. You missed a great chance, you know?
What's wrong?
It's him. We lost because he missed an easy shot, and now we're way behind Gold Star.
Oh, you're one to talk, Joe. Every single shot you took was wide of the goal. We lost because of you.
Me?
Yeah, that's right.
It has nothing to do with
That's
me.
enough, you two. Nobody likes to lose a game, but don't give up. There's still one more to play.
Yeah, that's right. If we win the next game, then we'll be even with Gold Star.
Yeah, that's right, Joe. But remember, even if we're tied with them, we still have to count the difference in goals. Hey, Coach, what is the goal difference right now?
Well, we scored 7 goals so far, and we let in 10 goals, and so that means our goal difference would be -3.
Negative 3? What do you mean by negative 3? It sounds strange to us.
Right. We scored 7 goals, and we lost 10. You simply add together the goals for and the goals against. Therefore, the goal difference is -3. -3 can also be written like this. Do you understand? You know, it's just like taking an elevator. If you go up to the 5th floor, and then go down 7 floors, then you'll end up on the 2nd underground level.
What about the Gold Star team?
Well, up until today's match, we were doing better than them. Before this match, their goal difference was -2. But then they just beat us 3-0. That means they've earned 1 goal in total. So their goal difference is now +1. +1 can also be written like this. In mathematics, +1 and -3 are called positive numbers and negative numbers.
Now then, in our daily lives there are lots of situations where we use positive and negative numbers. When we want to state two quantities of opposite meaning, we use positive and negative signs to distinguish the two opposite conditions. For example, the difference in goals. A net gain of 3 goals is represented as +3, and a net loss of 3 goals is represented as -3. Did you notice how we presented the positive and negative numbers?
For positive numbers, we write a positive sign in front of the number. On the other hand, for negative numbers, we write a negative sign in front. As positive numbers are used most commonly, we generally omit the positive sign. So this means a number without a sign in front of it is considered a positive number.
This year's junior soccer tournament is a very competitive one. New Star have just been beaten by Gold Star by 3 goals, which is a very big difference. Coach, do you think the result of this match will affect the morale of the New Star team? Will this affect their performance in the final match?
No, I don't think it will. We're ready to give it our best in this last match, and I think we got a great chance.
Thank you, Coach.
Hi, Mr. Cameraman.
Hello there, guys.
Hey, do you get to travel and film overseas?
Hey, don't be nosy.
Oh, he's not being nosy. He's just being curious like any kid. I tell you, it's not easy. A cameraman's got to be ready to work anywhere in the world.
Wow, what's the most memorable thing you've done?
Hey, talk about being nosy.
I've had so many great experiences. The world is so big, and there's such a wide variety of climates and landscapes. For example, in South America, Peru's Lake Titicaca is 3,800 meters above sea level. It's the highest body of water on Earth that a boat can sail on. And the Dead Sea, which lies between Israel and Jordan, is the lowest body of water in the world. It's 395 meters below sea level. Ankara, the capital of Turkey, is also an amazing place. In the summer, its highest temperature is 37 degrees Celsius, but in the winter, it can get as cold as negative 25 degrees.
Wow, that's amazing!
It is amazing. Working in those places isn't easy. That's why you've got to have team spirit when you work in a camera crew.
Team spirit?
Oh yeah, you should visit the broadcast studio sometime. Then you'll really be able to see how the whole station works closely as a team.
Okay.
Did you hear what the cameraman said? He talked about both positive and negative numbers. For example, 3,800 meters above sea level is positive 3,800. 395 meters below sea level is written as negative 395 meters. Similarly, for temperatures, 37 degrees Celsius means 37 degrees above zero and can be written as positive 37 degrees. 25 degrees below zero can be written as negative 25 degrees. The time difference at different places in the world can also be represented by positive and negative numbers. Compared to Greenwich Mean Time in Britain, Hong Kong is 8 hours ahead. Therefore, Hong Kong is in the positive 8 time zone. When it's 9 o'clock at night in Hong Kong, it's 1 in the afternoon in Britain. New York, on the other hand, is 5 hours behind Britain. When it's 9 o'clock at night in Britain, it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon in New York. And so New York is in the negative 5 time zone. There are many examples, apart from the ones we've seen. There's more. Most people use positive and negative numbers all the time in their daily lives. For example, to show rising and falling stock prices. Now let's see how we can use a graph to represent positive and negative numbers in mathematics.
First, draw a straight line and divide it into equal parts on a piece of paper. It can be a vertical or horizontal line, but it's more common to use a horizontal one. Put a 0 as one of the marks. Those marks to the right of 0 are positive numbers in sequential order, and those on the left are negative numbers, also in sequential order. This line representing positive numbers, negative numbers and 0 is called a number line. As you can see, the positive numbers are on the right of the number line, and the negative numbers are on the left. These represent two opposite directions. Therefore, they are also known as directed numbers. You might notice that on the number line, the greater the positive number, the further it is to the right. For example, positive 4 is greater than positive 2. That is, positive 4 is to the right of positive 2. Now what about negative numbers? Let's look at negative 2 and negative 4. If you treat them as markings on a thermometer, then negative 2 is 2 degrees below freezing point, and negative 4 is 4 degrees below the freezing point. 2 degrees below freezing is obviously a higher temperature than 4 degrees below freezing. This means negative 2 is greater than negative 4. On the number line, negative 2 is to the right of negative 4. This means that for negative numbers, the greater the number, the further it is to the right of the number line. To conclude, for any two numbers on the number line, the one on the right is greater than the one on the left. If we rotate the number line into a vertical position, then the number above is greater than the number below. It's worth noting that 4 is greater than 2. But negative 4 is smaller than negative 2. That means the larger the digit with a negative sign, the smaller it is.
Hi everyone! See the way Ben is jogging? This can be considered an addition of positive and negative numbers.
Ben jogged 10 meters forward from the starting point. This can be represented as positive 10 by moving 10 spaces from 0 to the right of the number line. Later, Ben jogged 15 meters backwards. This is represented as negative 15 by moving 15 spaces to the left on the number line. At this point, he is 5 meters behind the starting point. This is negative 5. Positive 10 plus negative 15 equals negative 5. So we can say he jogged backward for 5 meters or forward for negative 5 meters.
The addition of positive and negative numbers can be worked out on the number line. We've only shown you one example. Let's look at a few more.
To calculate positive 1 plus positive 1, we use 0 as the starting point. Move one space to the right and then move one more space to the right. We end up at the positive 2 position. That is, positive 1 plus positive 1 equals positive 2. Now how about calculating negative 2 plus negative 3? We move 2 spaces to the left and then move 3 more spaces to the left. The result is negative 5. How do you calculate positive 6 plus negative 4? Well done. Move 6 spaces to the right and then 4 spaces to the left, and the answer is positive 2. To calculate negative 6 plus positive 5, move 6 spaces to the left and then 5 to the right. The answer is negative 1. In the first two examples, 2 equals 1 plus 1, and 5 equals 2 plus 3. That means when two positive numbers or two negative numbers are added together, we can add up their digits first. When adding two positive numbers, put a positive sign in front of the result. When adding two negative numbers, put a negative sign in front. Then we have the answer. In the last two examples, 2 equals 6 minus 4, and 1 equals 6 minus 5. That means when a positive number and a negative number are added together, we calculate the difference of their digits first. When the sign of the greater number is positive, we put a positive sign in front of the result. When the sign of the greater number is negative, we put a negative sign in front. Then we have the answer. Excuse me.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to see that ball.
That one?
Yes.
Certainly. Here.
Thanks.
It has good elasticity. Very good for practice. Only $250. Is it for yourself, sir?
Oh, no. I know some kids who love playing soccer. They're playing in a junior soccer tournament right now. I'm buying them this ball to boost their morale a little bit. All right, I'll take it.
Thank you.
Do you take credit cards?
Of course.
Thanks.
Credit cards are getting more popular these days. Assuming that you have $1,000 in your bank account, after you've spent $250 on your credit card, how much do you have left? Originally, there was $1,000 in the account. That's positive 1,000. 250 is charged to your credit card. That's negative 250. So positive 1,000 plus negative 250 equals positive 750. That means there is now $750 in your account. Working backwards, you now have positive $750 left in your account. Deduct the negative $250 you spent on your credit card, and the result is positive 1,000, the original amount in your account. 1,000 equals positive 750 plus positive 250. To subtract negative 250 is the same as adding positive 250. Thus, when a negative number is subtracted from a negative number, the value increases instead of decreases. Let's look at another example.
In this picture, a ship is carrying bags of rice. The weight of each bag of rice lowers the level of the ship by 1 mark. That means adding 1 bag of rice is adding negative 1 mark to the level. Now if we take away 3 bags of rice, that is to subtract negative 3. The level, instead of being lowered, is raised by 3 marks. Notice that to subtract negative 3 is actually to add positive 3. Now let's take a look at another ship which is loaded with goods. It uses many buoys to keep it afloat. Each buoy raises the level of the ship by 1 mark. That means adding 1 buoy is adding positive 1 mark to the level. Now if we take away 3 buoys, it's the same as subtracting positive 3 marks. The level is lowered by 3 marks. Notice that to subtract positive 3 is actually to add negative 3. Based on the above, we use the following rules for the subtraction of directed numbers. Subtracting a negative number equals adding a positive number. Subtracting a positive number equals adding a negative number. You can use these two rules to calculate the following subtractions of directed numbers. Did you get the same answers?
Where now?
That way. Here it is. Joe, Ben, we call these rooms here our editing rooms. Now, come this way. See this? It's an editing machine. Do you want to see something I filmed the other day?
Yeah.
Now, when you want to fast forward the film on this machine, just do this. You can use this control button here, like this.
Hey, is that an experiment?
It is. In fact, with this film, we can learn something about mathematics.
What?
In this picture, 3 millimeters of water flows through the glass tube each second. After playing the tape for 5 seconds, how much water has flowed through the tube in total?
3 milliliters in 1 second. 3 times 5 is 15. So the answer is 15 milliliters.
Correct. Actually, we can use multiplication of directed numbers to explain this. If we use -3 to represent 3 milliliters of water flowing per second, and +5 to represent the 5 seconds, then -3 times +5 represents the amount of water which flowed in 5 seconds. Since 15 milliliters of water has flowed through the tube, therefore, -3 times +5 equals -15.
So when a negative number is multiplied by a positive number, then the result is a negative number.
Can I try this machine with some other pictures?
And I want to try too.
Okay.
Wow, that's great! He jumps out of the water!
That's interesting.
Hey, that plane is flying backwards.
Yeah.
Let's think of it another way. The tape is played for 5 seconds, and 15 milliliters of water has flowed through the tube. If we reverse the tape for 5 seconds, how much more water would there be in the tube?
15 mils.
To reverse the tape for 5 seconds means -5 seconds. 3 milliliters of water a second is -3 milliliters. 3 milliliters of water more in the tube when the tape's reversed 1 second. Therefore, 15 milliliters more if the tape goes back 5 seconds. That means -3 times -5 equals +15.
So a negative number times a negative number is a positive number?
Well done. That's correct. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Ta-da! This is for you.
Really? Thank you.
You're welcome. I wish you the best of luck in the final match.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. We'll do our best.
And I'll be there to cheer you on.
Hey, great!
Excellent! Great job! We beat Gold Star on goal difference. That means we stay in the division next year.
New Star beat Big Step by 5 goals to 0. So Gold Star was beaten in the end on the goal difference and will be relegated to the lower division next year. But we're all happy for Ben and Joe, and we've learned something about directed numbers, which will help us to answer the following question. Assuming that when Ben kicks the ball, it travels at a speed of 40 kilometers per hour. At the same time, the wind is blowing in the opposite direction at a speed of 35 kilometers per hour. What is the actual speed of the ball? Have you got the answer yet?